the year 1945, Western India Palm Refined Oil Limited was set up, and its only business model was to deliver vegetable oil as well as refined oil. After 50 years or 60 years, the business model of the company has been totally changed, and it is one of the leading Indian tech consultancy firm, and it is one of the oldest firm which is there in Sensex as well as Nifty. So this was all possible because of one man, Azim Premji. Yes, you got it right. Today in this video we'll be covering one stock of Nifty 50, that is WIPRO, and we'll be seeing what is its history, what has been its development past 60-70 years, how did it achieve all this, and do we hold it or not. So we'll be covering the story of WIPRO in this video, and we'll understand it much better. The story of history started in 1945 when Hasham Premji founded it in Maharashtra. So the primary objective of WIPRO back then was only to produce refined oil as well as vegetable oil. And after 20 years, that is in the year 1966, upon the death of Hasham Premji, Azim Premji was called and given the role of chairman of WIPRO. And by that time he was only 21 years and he had left his graduation, that is he was studying in Stanford, and he left that and came here to take care of the company which his father built. So during the 1970s, Azim Premji had the vision to enter into information technology. So what he did was he ventured into information technology and the computer industry. His first project was in personal computers, and then he swiftly moved into software industry too. So by then WIPRO was now diversifying into IT industry from its original base of oil refining and vegetable oil production. Since the focus of the company was shifting, the name of the company was changed to WIPRO Products Limited in the year 1977. Since the company was expanding to different sectors and diversifying into other space, the name was again changed in 1982 to WIPRO Limited, so it would cater to every other business what it was doing. It launched WIPRO Super Genius personal computers in those years. In the year 1999, it was the only Indian product to have obtained US-based NSTL certification for the year 2000. NSTL is nothing but National Software Testing Laboratory certification. WIPRO has grown a lot from where it had begun. So it had begun as a leading vegetable oil producer, then now it is leading tech giant of India. So it ranks in top 5 tech companies of India. In 1988, WIPRO entered the hydraulic mobility projects, and in 1989, it entered a joint venture with US company, that is General Electric, and the joint venture was known as WIPRO GE Medical Systems Private Limited. This company, the joint venture, was focused and concentrated on producing and selling diagnostic and imaging products. You might have heard this famous tagline, "Umar ka pata hi nahi chalta," that is of Santur. In the year 1990, WIPRO also ventured into FMCG products by launching Santur as its major brand. Later, WIPRO also entered into a joint venture with KPN Technologies to form WIPRO Net Limited. The main focus of this WIPRO Net Limited was to provide internet service across India. And one of the biggest achievement of this WIPRO was in the year 2000, its shares were listed in New York Stock Exchange, that was in NYSE. In the year 2002, WIPRO was the first company to have ISO 14001 certification for software technology and services. Moving on to its achievements, WIPRO became one of the fastest wealth creator in the span of 5 years, that was in 1997 to 2002. And WIPRO also started to establish consumer care products and lighting as a separate company. Currently, WIPRO has presence in almost 19 countries and include products such as Santur soap, Chandrika soap, Glucovita, and WIPRO Safe Wash. In 2009, WIPRO consumer brand acquired the prestigious Yardley. You might have all heard about Yardley, right? And in 2012, it acquired distribution rights in United Kingdom too. WIPRO's consumer care and lighting group entered the compact fluorescent lamps, that is CFL industry, by launching it under the brand name of WIPRO Smart Light. By the year 2004, WIPRO was a billion-dollar company which had ventured into multiple firms like FMCG as well as IT. WIPRO also went ahead with partnering with Intel, and in the year 2008, it acquired a firm called Cmango, which was a US-based firm, and it was a tech infra consulting firm. In 2008, WIPRO entered the clean energy space under the name of WIPRO Eco Energy, and in 2011, it ventured into an agreement between SAIC to get information about oil and gas. By this time, WIPRO had ventured into major businesses like IT and FMCG and other business. So in 2030, WIPRO Enterprises included all the businesses except the IT part. And in 2018, unfortunately, it lost its third most valued IT firm to HCL Technology. One more interesting fact is that WIPRO was the first company to have a CEO who was of not Indian origin. Thierry Del Porte took over as CEO of WIPRO in the year 2020 on July 6th. Moving on to its financials and its fundamental analysis, what is our take on it? So WIPRO is one of the top 5 IT companies in India. You must have heard the fact that if you had invested 10,000 rupees in 1980, how much it would have worth now. So it has been an amazing wealth created. So 10,000 rupees invested back in its IPO, that is in 1980, would be worth somewhere around 800 to 1000 crores as on date. So that is how much WIPRO has created wealth to its investors. So from the year 2015 to 2020, WIPRO hadn't shown significant increase in its share price. It had moved hardly 3 to 4% in that period. And after the COVID recovery, its businesses were also doing good and its share price zoomed. So 2021 was a great year for WIPRO as its share price has rallied. So recently they have bought back 9,500 crores of shares from the open market, and buying back of shares technically represents how much a promoter is confident on the company. So the promoter holding of WIPRO is somewhere in the range of 72.5 to 73.5, which is the highest. And if a promoter is holding such huge quantity of his shares, that means that he is very optimistic about his business model and optimistic about its growth. So no other person can understand his company much better than any other person. So Azim Premji and his family holds somewhere around 72.5 to 73.5% shares of WIPRO. So WIPRO is valued somewhere around 30 to 30.5 price to earning ratio, which is fairly valued compared to its peers. TCS and Infosys have price to earning ratio somewhere between 36 to 39. So that is how much WIPRO's competitors are valued. And on the profit and loss statement, WIPRO has been consistently generating profits year on year. And from March 2010, sales has grown significantly. That is, sales has tripled. That is, in the year 2010, sales was just somewhere around 27,000 crores, and in the year 2021, March, it has been somewhere around 62,000 crores. Operating profits has also increased twofolds. That is, in the year 2010, operating margin was somewhere around 5,900 crores, and currently it is somewhere around 14,000 crores. WIPRO has been paying dividend consistently, and investor who is looking for healthy dividend can go ahead with WIPRO on its long-term investment. Also note that we are not SEBI registered, we just give information, and before taking any investment decision, please do consult your financial advisors. So we feel that WIPRO on a longer term basis will be sufficient wealth creator, and it will generate decent profits over the period of 5 to 7 years. Currently, we are not holding shares of WIPRO. As a matter of transparency, we are not holding WIPRO in our shares, but investors who are considering it on a longer term perspective, this is a good buy. One thing to note is that it has high promoter holding, that is 73% of shares, and one more interesting fact is that none of its shares are pledged. That is, the promoters haven't pledged these shares to borrow money because their business is such that it is self-sufficient and self-driven. They don't have to borrow money so that to drive the business. That is the one plus advantage of holding WIPRO shares. And always note that make sure you understand the promoter holding pattern to understand how it will be doing in the near term. Why? Because the promoter is the one person who knows the company much better. So that's the whole idea about promoter holding. And We also have optimistic view on WIPRO, but currently we are not holding it. We find other competitors also giving us decent returns. That's the reason we are not holding it. But if we get sufficient opportunity, we'll be holding on to its shares. And that's it for WIPRO's financials. WIPRO has also pledged to become net zero greenhouse gas emissions by the year 2040, and it has also aimed at reducing it to 55% by the year 2030. So if you have any other opinion on WIPRO, do share it in the comment section and let our investor friends know about it. And the whole idea of this video is to make sure that investor friends are aware of what WIPRO is doing and what other companies of Nifty 50 is doing. WIPRO has market capitalization of somewhere around 3.5 lakh crore. And if you feel that this video is informative, do share it with your friends, do hit the like button and subscribe. For more such content, do follow Optionables. Thank you.